Everyone, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review, where today I am reviewing the Esbit 1100ml cook set. This is an interesting solid fuel stove that I've been testing out for numerous months now. And after all of my testing, I'm ready to share with you my pros, my cons, my thoughts, my experiences, and more. Everyone, let's get to it. This is the cook set here in its stowed form. When it comes to the measurements, you're looking at 8 inches by 6.3 inches by 3.3 inches. The weight of this entire kit is 14.9 ounces. It comes with a storage bag. And here is the component breakdown. The handle unfolds like so. This is the lid. We'll talk about this in just a minute. On the inside here, I have some solid fuel, a lighter, and a washcloth. This is the burner plate. You can see that it has feet on the bottom. This is where the fuel goes. You have some air holes that go all the way around, and also a feeding port. This here is the 1100ml pot, which translates to roughly 4.5 cups. The handle is coated in a rubber, so it makes for easy grabbing when you take this off of the hot stove. On the side, you do have measurements in both milliliters as well as ounces. Going back to the lid, it sits on top. As I mentioned before, this is a solid fuel stove, and you can use any variant that you wish to, ranging from trioxane to hexamine. And this includes all of the variant sizes that are out there, ranging from the 14 gram all the way up to the 27 gram. Speaking of which, here is a 27 gram cube from Esbit. This fuel was designed specifically for this stove. 27 grams burns for over 12 minutes, and you can achieve multiple boils with just one of these. Of course, there is some variance there depending on how much you're boiling. I can usually boil 2 cups of water multiple times off of 1 cube, and that allows me to make something nasty. Taster's nasty. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, with these 27 gram tablets, you get 8 of these for 13 bucks. The use of this stove system is very simple. You lay down the burner plate, get your fuel, light it up. Hopefully you can see the flame there with all that sunlight. You take your pan, you put it down, you put in all the water that you want, then you can take the lid and put it on top, just like so. Or you can use it as a windscreen. And it can go on either side. If it's super windy, you can take this off and lay it down even lower, just like so. The water has been on for 3 or 4 minutes and it's perfectly hot. I mean, perfect temperature for coffee. As you all can see, it's steaming away. Let's say I'm done. I can put this to the side. Then you can blow out the fuel just like this, and you can reuse this in the future. Now the thing is, you will have to wrap this up. I like to put it in 2 Ziploc bags, and that's because this stuff stinks. I mean, it really, really stinks. Hexamine is a fuel that just absolutely reeks. It smells like shrimp. It's very strong. Oftentimes, 1 layer of packaging is not enough. You will smell this through plastic wrap. You will smell it through a box. And that's why I wrap it up twice in Ziploc bags. Just in case you haven't used this fuel before, here are a few of my thoughts. First off, it works at high elevation. It works in the cold. It's fairly resistant to wind. They do perform well, but they tend to be expensive. Again, you get 8 of these for $13. That's pricey. They can be blown out. You can use them later on in the future. They do release quite a bit of heat, far more than alcohol. Another pro for these is that they have a very long shelf life. You can buy these, store them, and years later come back and continue to use them. And that makes them good for not only backpacking and camping, but for emergency use as well. When it comes to the construction of this kit, it is made primarily from aluminum. There is some stainless steel here with the handles, and you also have the mesh bag. But primarily, this is aluminum. Again, the weight of this is right at 15 ounces. The cost is $54 at the time of filming. And with all of that being said, let's go ahead and begin with my review, starting with the pros for this product. With the first pro, the overall quality is very good. Esbit makes good products, and this continues here. There's no issues here. There's no sharp edges, nothing like that. For the money, and from this company, it is what you would expect. Not only is the quality good, this is somewhat unique. I have not seen a system like this before. And the thing is, it works. It does everything that the company states that it would. And it does so in a unique package. The size is good, the capacity is good for the pot itself. I like the fact that you can use multiple fuel types, solid fuel that is, and there's enough space in here that you can even put multiple cubes if you want. And as you add additional fuel cubes, you can cook for longer, heat for longer, or even boil more fluid. Now let's talk about that for a second. The overall capacity of this pan, this pot, is pretty good. 1100 milliliters, 4.5 cups. You do have the markings on here, which I do like. It tells you in ounces and milliliters. It's very easy to use, it's easy to deploy, easy to break down. With this system, it really is more about heating, right? Or boiling water, and less about cooking. Because of the solid fuel, the nature of that fuel, this is a stove for quick trips and quick boils. Thanks to the burner plate, you do have good wind resistance. And thanks to the design of the system itself, you have the fuel cube in the middle, and it spreads the heat out evenly upon your pan. Now folks, those are the pros. Let's go over to the cons real quick, because there are a few that have to be mentioned here. First off, $54 for this kit is very, very expensive. I mean, this is nothing but aluminum. If this was made from titanium, $54 would make sense, but with it being aluminum, this is just insane. The price is just out of this world, really. I mean, for $54, you can buy an entire cook kit with multiple pans, multiple pots. You can get a kettle. $54 for this really is the biggest problem with this kit, because it doesn't make any sense. With what you're getting for this kit, in my opinion, the price should not be over $30. Next up, the fuel is pricey. Also, the fuel stinks. Also, for the burn time, this does take up quite a bit of space inside of your pack, depending of course on how long you're going to be out for your trip and how much heating and boiling that you plan to do. Again folks, this is not the type of stove that you would purchase to cook on, and you have to keep that in mind, and that is a con with a stove like this. It's to heat up, it's to boil, and that's about it. And because of the weight of the system and the weight of the fuel, it really is meant for quick trips. The next con that I have for this kit is the storage bag. It works, but it's just okay. It doesn't have much of a shape to it, and you can easily put the stove in it. It doesn't really fit it quite right. So yeah, it's okay in my opinion. Moving on, this is a somewhat heavy kit. It's made from aluminum, it weighs almost 1 pound, and that's without any fuel at all. So if you're someone who counts grams when you're going out backpacking and camping, there are much, much lighter systems than this out on the market. The next con is the shape of this stove system. Because of the shape, it will not work with most pots, most pans, most cups. It works with this just fine, but getting anything else to sit on this is not going to happen unless you rig something up. But as is, you're pretty much stuck with this pan and this pan alone. No reasonable sized cup or pot is going to fit on this. Another con that I have for this system is the fact that this is the 1100 milliliter pot cook set, right? You have the measurements here on the pot itself in ounces and also milliliters. With the two ratings, it goes up to 28 ounces on one side, 700 milliliters on the other side. It doesn't actually go up to 1100 milliliters for some reason. 1100 milliliters is actually 37 ounces, which is roughly 4.5 cups. And I have no idea why there aren't markings on here for that level. There should be those markings on here, but there's not. And it's not because it's filled to the very top, because it's not. But for some reason, it only goes up to 28 ounces or 700 milliliters. And that takes us over to my final con for this kit. All in all, everyone, I do like this stove, but it's a very specific use case stove. You can't take this out for every single trip, and that's because of the nature of the fuel itself. Again, this is for heating, for boiling, and that's about it. It does perform very well. It certainly gets the job done when it comes to heating and boiling water, or heating up fluids, soups, and so on. Easy to set up, easy to break down, easy to clean. Speaking of cleaning this up, unfortunately this is not a non-stick pan. It would have been nice if it was. Maybe in the future there will be a non-stick version. I hope so. Again, the biggest con in my opinion is price. $54, it's a lot for this stove. It's a lot for what this is, especially when you can use solid fuel all by itself without a stove. I mean, you can build a little platform out of rocks. I've shown you all how to do this. It's super simple. You can even use sticks. It really doesn't matter. So you can use this fuel, get the same performance, and save yourself $54. For me, the price doesn't make any sense here. It's just simply too high. Also, if you're wanting to cut weight, this is not the kit for you either. It's simply too heavy. Plus, you have to add in the fuel. So with all of that being said, you need to think about the pros and cons and how you would personally use this stove. Is it a good fit for you? Only you can answer that question. So go ahead, comment down below. What do you all think about the Esbit stove? Again, I like it. It does perform well, but it has some problems. The biggest con, again, is the price. Is it worth $54 Please share your thoughts down below, everyone. I want to thank you all for watching this review. Make sure to hit the thumbs up if you like this episode, if it helped you out. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Again, share your thoughts down below. I do appreciate it. Until next time, everyone, take care, strength and honor. See you soon.